Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. Yeah, Solana still in an unchanged situation, basically hovering between support and resistance. You can see that the price is really trying to form this inverse head and shoulders pattern that we've been looking at now for various days, if not even a couple of weeks. We have here our left shoulder, the head, and a potential right shoulder forming, okay? So few people got confused because obviously we still prefer a breakdown for BTC and ETH, okay? As you know, well, then obviously people are asking, okay, if a move to the upside is expected here, how does that go together? Well, I have to tell you, I'm fairly neutral about Solana. I'm purely pointing out the potential, okay? And I can tell you the key support levels and the breakout points. But for me, I really will only get, let's call it bullish on Solana, as soon as we see those 5 waves to the upside and the 3-wave pullback. The only reason why I show the potential here is because the price starts to turn around potentially in our larger trend reversal area, which on the larger time frame is a potential setup for anybody who wants to use it. Obviously below $15, things have to be reinterpreted, which I said cannot be ruled out on this chart, right? We talked about the problems, talked about the problem with this structurally, about the high that was made in July. Okay, so this is not a high quality setup to the upside at the moment. But overall, looking at reward to risk, it still is interesting. And if it can form the 5 waves here in white, then and at least we have some confirmation that a lasting low has been established. If we get the 5 waves and if it's impulsive, then we can get a decent trade setup after the 3 waves down have been made. Okay, so that requires a bit of patience. At the moment, it's basically a potential that obviously you can trade if you like to, but then it's not a high probability setup. Okay, I see it's a very low confidence setup. Nevertheless, it's potential. Okay, and so that's sort of how I think it needs to be approached. My task as an analyst is to point out potentials so that nobody's surprised if the things start to roll. But also I have to highlight when things are not, when you don't have a high confidence setup. Solana is probably one of the better ones at the moment, but I have no shorter time frame setup, you could say. We had one here, yeah. Well, price did hold the $17.80 level, $17.80, yeah, and moved higher. So that was the first 1-2 setup. It was a shallow wave too, but it was one. In the wide wave count at least. And I mean, how does it all work together? I mean, the only way really how this 3rd wave can unfold is, first of all, for this inverse head and shoulders now to play out. Because literally, if it breaks now above that $20.60 level, we have a right shoulder. And then you've got your inverse head and shoulders. And the 3rd wave should play out. Now, ideal target for the wave 3 is $22, but it would likely extend. Why? It would likely extend for the following reason. Because this year would count as a wave 1 of wave 3. So basically, I could argue we might have actually a small setup here, a small long trade setup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's not a high confidence one. It's on a very low time frame. So here we've got one, okay? Wave 1 to the upside, wave 2 pullback. It's low confidence, but it is one. High reward, low risk. Just be aware that we're just below resistance. And if it's failing, then it will fail below $19. So a break below $19 will likely lead to a failure. Okay, so that's very important. And then from here, it could rally in a third of a third wave. And you need to understand that $19 is not only the key FIB support, it's also structural support. I made you aware about that in the last 2 videos. $19 here, okay? So there is strong support at 19. A break below 19 will, with very high likelihood, cause a failure of the wide wave count. Then next support below that is $18.60. That's the small circle wave 2 swing low here. And below $18.60, we have confirmation that the wide wave count has failed. At the moment, it's something I'm observing, but something where I don't see a high confidence setup, okay? But I see the potential of an inverse head and shoulders, but I would need to confirm that with a breakout. I mean, a head and shoulders pattern, inverse head and shoulders, it's a breakout setup, right? Whereas we have as potential preparation for the breakout, now here a small pullback setup in wave 2 of wave 3. So yeah, that's my update about Solana. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.